much, Mr. Chairman. I won't take the full time. I just want to say that I think this has been a terrific hearing and an exchange of views, and it seems to me that of all the issues we've touched on, probably the one that has had the most potential controversy is the testimonial subpoenas. And I appreciate your initial response, Ms. Lerner, to my questions and to Chairman Peters' questions on that. I think it's important to lay out what the guardrails are, because we've talked a lot about guardrails without getting into detail, and I do think there's some safeguards here that Senator Peters and I have included in our bill that are quite effective, because I do think that it's an enormous responsibility that the IGs would be taking on to subpoena people after they leave. Number one, the Attorney General would review any subpoena going out and would be able, in that case, as I understand it, to provide information as to any potential conflicts with other investigations that might be ongoing. I think that's important. That information could be considered by this panel. It's a panel of IGs. 3 Senate-confirmed IGs would have to approve it. The SIGI chair is responsible for randomly selecting those 3 Senate-confirmed IGs to review it. Third, it would only be available for audits, evaluations, inspections, and investigations that the IG was undertaking, and so not some fishing expedition, and also would have to be reasonably related to that case. Fourth, SIGI was being asked to issue standards, which they have done before in other areas, and those standards, I think, would be consistent with standards we've laid out before, including that it be reasonably related. And fifth, there'd be a congressional reporting requirement. Now, these are semi-annual reports to Congress, so it's not a report prior to the issuance, but it is a report to Congress to let us know, how it's working and what's going on. And Ms. Lerner, you talked about that earlier as maybe a potential way for Congress to be able to understand without having a sunset put into the legislation itself. Finally, I would just say, and Ms. Horowitz, you mentioned this earlier this morning, that people would still have access to the courts with regard to these subpoenas. So anyway, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate you letting me do that. I think our bill is balanced. I think it's a, it's a good way to ensure the independence of IGs, but also ensure that these investigations can continue. Thank you.